Hello, I'm Bernard Norcott-Mahany. I work at the Blueford branch of the Kansas City Public Library. April is National Poetry Month, and so for this April, I'm going to be reading some poems by a Roman poet named Horace. In fact, I'll be reading the Odes of Horace in the translation by David Ferry. Horace was a lyric poet, so he's writing short poems. These are poems, they're often on simple things. Inviting a friend for a drink, talking about the joys of life, singing the praises of a beautiful woman, or the beauty of nature. Those sorts of things are what Horace talks about. He lived under the reign of Augustus, and originally he had been on the opposing side, but Augustus and his people recognized Horace's talent as a poet. They didn't ask him to do political poems, although some of his poems do actually address the political situation in Rome. Obviously, in favor of Augustus in those poems, but most of them are just about the simple joys of life. His Latin is fairly straightforward. I mean, they're beautifully written poems in the Latin, and Ferry does a very good job of doing the same thing in English. So his English translations sort of match the Latin. They obviously aren't going to have the same metrical pattern as the Latin because English and Latin don't have the same metrical patterns. It would just sound strange. They sound natural in Latin, and Ferry makes his English sound natural in English. So the book, by the way, this is from the library, so you can actually check this book out if you want. And just to show you what it looks like inside, you've got the Latin on one side, and then you've got the English translation on the other. Just in case you do happen to know Latin, you can actually check the Latin against the translation. I hope you'll tune in so each day I'm going to read one ode from the book. There are these all come from the first three books of Odes. Probably we've got about maybe a third of the poems in that collection that I'll be doing, so one a day. So small time commitment, but the only way to get poetry is to say it aloud. And this is especially true, I think, about very formalist poems such as you would get from Horace or in David Ferry's translation. So hope you check them out, and there'll be links to each day as the day approaches, and you can get on that way. You could probably also just look me up on YouTube, Bernard Norcott-Mahany, and then look for Horace, and you should get to the poems that way as well. So hope to see you. Hope the poems make you feel better, or that you like them, and see you, as they say in the movies.